Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, June 26, 2020. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has known active COVID-19 cases following the recovery of the last 2 cases. These recoveries were indicated by the negative results of PT-PCR tests conducted at the Molecular PCR Laboratory Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment and confirmed by the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAFA Public Health Laboratory in Trinidad yesterday. A news release from the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said the 2 second negative results required to clear the positive cases were among a batch for 23 samples, 18 of which belong to the Vincentians repatriated from Cuba on Monday, June 22nd. The release said all of the samples were negative and were processed at the local PCR lab and also sent to CAFRA, where the results were confirmed. SVG now has 29 recovered cases of COVID-19. The public is, however, reminded of the importance of maintaining the public health measures currently in place, which include appropriate mask use, hand hygiene, cough etiquette, physical distancing of at least 3 to 6 feet in public spaces, and strict adherence to quarantine and isolation. These measures are said to be vital and are proven to slow the spread of COVID-19. Today was observed as National HIV Testing Day here in SVG. The 3-day testing initiative coordinated by the National HIV/AIDS Secretariat was held as part of activities to commemorate Regional HIV Testing Day, which is observed annually on June 27th. Today at the National HIV/AIDS Secretariat, one of the main testing sites, not many persons showed up to get tested. HIV/AIDS coordinator for public entities, Winfield Tanis Abbott, said that they were hoping more persons would have taken up the opportunity to get tested to know their status. He explained the process and steps once someone is tested positive or negative for the virus.
One of the good things about this is that I am going to get to know my status. So if my status turns out that I am positive, I will go on what we call test and treat. I then move from here and it will be referred to the infectious disease clinic, and then they will put me on treatment, which we call antiretroviral drugs. And I just want to, and if it is negative, they will encourage me to continue do what I'm doing, one sexual partner, be faithful if I can't abstain. So get tested, know your status.
First responder with the HIV/AIDS Secretariat, Owen Batiste, said he believes the inclement weather condition and COVID-19 might have prevented more persons from coming forward to get tested.
What's different this time because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and persons will not be, flock at much health centers, or we normally do a lot of outreach in terms of, like in Kingston at this time we do a lot of outreach programs, sharing pamphlets, do the testing and also counseling. But because of the COVID-19 we have to do more of in-house, and we have less persons within a specific time to come in and get themselves tested and to know their status.
Our crew on site used the opportunity to get tested.
This is simple. This is quick on the finger, and in 15 minutes you will get the result.
Now I know my status. I'm feeling a bit better. So I'm encouraging others to come and get tested and know your status.
Regional HIV/AIDS Testing Day is commemorated yearly on June 27th. The National Testing Day was observed under the theme HIV testing, key to reaching 90-90-90 target. Testing continues at health centers island-wide. And the Pan American Health Organization continues to be working with the National HIV/AIDS Secretariat to help meet targets set by UNAIDS, which is to be accomplished by the end of this year. PAHO Country Representative Nicole Liebert-Slack, who was part of the National Testing Day activities today at the National AIDS Secretariat, said that prevention and training are key areas being supported by PAHO.
PAHO continues to support St. Vincent and the Grenadines in various areas, including communicable diseases, which HIV is one. And so we continue to provide assistance, for example, in prevention activities, outreach activities around World AIDS Day, for example, training of healthcare professionals, and development of various policies with regard to treatment and care.
Liebert-Slack said that another priority area that PAHO is providing support for is the prevention of mother-to-child transmission.
We know that prevention of mother-to-child transmission is one of the areas that we have provided some support in and continue to provide some support throughout our time here, and we will continue to provide that assistance to the Ministry of Health.
The PAHO representative was in full praise of the National AIDS Secretariat for pushing ahead with the National Testing Day, which she said was affected in other countries due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
I first want to congratulate the Ministry of Health for engaging in this initiative, Testing Day. I know many countries are not engaging in regional testing day as before, so I want to congratulate them for continuing to do so. And from what I'm told, testing is being done here at the HIV unit, but also in many of the health centers around St. Vincent. So congratulations once again. I have the good fortune of actually being based in the same building as the HIV/AIDS Secretariat.
SVG has maintained its Tier 2 ranking on the United States Annual Trafficking in Persons Report, the TIP report. This information was disclosed on Thursday, June 25, 2020, by the United States Secretary of State Michael Pompeo during a virtual event at the U.S. State Department. The TIP report derives from the Trafficking Victims Protection Act passed in the U.S. Congress in 2000. This act empowers the United States to assess anti-trafficking efforts of 188 countries, including the U.S. The 2020 report on SVG states, among other things, the government demonstrated overall increasing efforts compared to the previous reporting period. Hence, the country maintains its Tier 2 ranking. These efforts include increasing training of law enforcement officials, increasing international collaboration to plan and operation against child sex trafficking, convicting perpetrators for crimes relating to trafficking, and improving public awareness campaign. The report, however, noted that the government of SVG did not meet the minimum standards in several key areas, and that the authorities have not prosecuted a trafficking case since 2015 and have never convicted a trafficker. Head of the Anti-Trafficking in-Person Unit, Assistant Superintendent Junior Simmons, said he is pleased that SVG was able to maintain its current ranking, noting that the country has been achieving Tier 2 ranking status consecutively for the last 4 years. ASP Simmons extends thanks to all stakeholders involved in combating human trafficking in SVG, including the government, law enforcement, public and private sectors, civil society, non-government organization, faith-based organizations, and others. In other news, opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday has given the nation's youth the assurance that an NDP administration will provide more opportunities for them to flourish. Addressing a virtual youth forum hosted by the party last evening, Dr. Friday said once in office they will create a youth parliament where the youths can debate issues affecting them, which will be addressed at the government level. The opposition leader said that his main focus is also to provide more job opportunities for the youth.
What we will do when we create jobs for those who are coming out of the community college. You hear me talk all the time about the problems of Otley Hall. That is not just to go and beat up on the government, although they deserve it. It is because Otley Hall, as it is now, the shipyard and marina, has tremendous potential to provide jobs for young people. Skilled jobs in electrical engineering, in welding, in fabricating, in carpentry, in all these things that can provide a decent living for young people. Those who train at the community college can have a decent job there. Right now it's just being left to rot.
Dr. Friday encourages the youth not to give up on life nor their future, as they have what it takes to make SVG better.
You have what it takes to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines better, to make lives in this country what we know it has the potential to be. Let us do it together. Okay. Don't quit. Don't give up. For me, one of the saddest things that happens is when I have conversations with some young people and they tell you that they are not interested in politics because all politicians are the same. But I tell you, I am not. If I tell you something, it's because I believe it. If I say I will deliver something, I will deliver it.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Godfred Pompey, has been appointed to serve as chairman of the new Constituency Boundaries Commission. Pompey was appointed by Her Excellency the Governor-General, Dame Susan Duggan, in her own deliberate judgment pursuant to Section 32(1)(a) of the Constitution of SVG. Lawyer Stephen Williams was appointed as a member of the commission in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister, with Edson Cummins appointed as a member in accordance with the advice of the Leader of the Opposition. The commission was appointed on June 23, 2020. The chairman and members of the Constituency Boundaries Commission took the oath of allegiance and oath of office today, Friday, June 26, 2020. The commission's appointment comes ahead of general elections widely expected later this year. The Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment CPEA concluded today with a sitting of Science and Language Arts. The two-day exam was held under COVID-19 guidelines, in which students were required to sit in the examination rooms at least 3 feet apart. Some of the students of the C.W. Prescott School who sat the multiple choice papers at the St. Vincent Grammar School said the most challenging of the 4 papers was mathematics.
It was real easy. Yeah, it was easy. It was easy. One thing, easy for you. Yesterday we been getting maths and social studies. The maths been kind of hard, but social studies all we pass it.
It was kind of hard, especially the maths. And
let's know the social studies. So she like social studies. Hard.
It was very easy. Some of it was challenging, but. But I think it was easy.
It was very hard, but I made it. I think I passed. I will be looking forward to go to school. Miss where I'll be going to school. Let's all the girls get Thomas and woman.
I want to be an accountant or scientist.
Yeah, Miss Smith, I want to be a scientist. So I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher.
Now that CPEA 2020 is over, some students say COVID-19 pandemic has spoiled their plans for the summer vacation. A number of them told our news team that they were hoping to travel to see their families abroad, but had to cancel their travel plans and will have to make the best of their summer here at home.
Lying in tongue. Go sleep, eat, and repeat it every day until we go second year of school. Watch TV and play games.
In the summer,
Go beach, go everywhere. Let's go villa. Live. In the summer, me depend on a book thing. Me don't know me sit here. Me depend on the tablet. Me got a beach. Me got all over the place. Me study in the book until school open.
Well, we had planned to travel, but because of COVID, we'll have to travel around St. Vincent instead. Like to the countryside, because she doesn't know the countryside and so on. So take her to the countryside so she can know about the country still.